Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're a fighter, and there's a bunch of orcs. So you run in there and swing at the nearest one. And that's your turn. You wait around for a few minutes, and then it's your turn again. So you swing at the orc again. And then you do it again. And again, and again. And maybe you kill it this time. Yay! So, you run at the next orc. And you do it all over again. It's getting boring, but then one of them hits you. And you're like at 1 HP. But you've been saving a health potion, just in case. So you drink it, and you're good again. So you start swinging at the orc, until it's dead. Then you move on to the next orc, and the next orc, and the next orc, and so on. This is pretty much what most battles in a tabletop actually end up looking like. The players just move between enemies, and then they start swinging until it's dead or they're dead. Maybe they position themselves a little, use a choke point, or something like that. After they're there, swing, 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 zap, 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 and occasionally they drink a potion. You know why this is dull? It's because RPGs are all about choice. And the only choice you have here is which attack you want to use, and whether you want to drink a potion or die, which isn't even a choice really. Usually there's clearly a best attack in a given situation, the one that deals the most damage. Sometimes you can grapple or something like that, but we so rarely see that as DMs. It's just bash, bash, bash. This is kind of a problem. You spend a lot of time fighting, especially in systems like D&D. I've been DMing for 10 years now, and I spent a lot of time trying to make combat more interesting. But in the end, it always goes back to the same pattern. Run to the next enemy, bash, bash, bash. Last weekend, I think I stumbled across something I think might actually help. But I'm really excited about this, so I thought I'd make a video explaining. I recently started playing a game called Into the Breach. It's a brilliant turn-based tactical game where you control mechs and try to defend cities from aliens. It's actually pretty cool, you should check it out. Anyway, let me explain what you're looking at. All my mechs are the things with those little yellow arrows over them, and they all have different abilities. But in this case, the squad I'm using all have the ability to push enemies away when I attack. See those red squares? That's where the aliens are going to attack as soon as I end my turn. But they're going to try to attack in the same direction, even if I move them before they attack. Since I know what they're planning, I can actually be pretty creative. I'm going to shoot the scorpion, pushing it back, so it's no longer aiming at my tank. Now that I've cleared out that space where it used to be, I'm going to use my artillery and shoot next to the beetle. This won't actually do any damage, but it will blast the beetle onto the spot where the scorpion plans to attack next turn, which means it's going to take friendly fire. And because I moved the beetle, it's no longer targeting my city in the back, it's just targeting some random grass next to the city. This all works because of a single mechanic. The enemies telegraph their attacks. If I didn't know where they're aiming ahead of time, the best I could have done was try to shoot the thing that looks like it's about to do the most damage and hope for the best. That would actually be my strategy almost all the time. No matter what the situation was, I'd just go to the nearest thing and fire, fire, fire. Sound familiar? So, here's the point. Let's go back to our orcs. Let's say I have the boss orc do whatever it was he was about to do anyway. But then, I also tell the players that this big, hulking orc stalks forward and fixes his gaze on one of the PCs. He then lifts a huge warbow with an arrow the size of a harpoon right at him. You can bet at this point, the player is no longer thinking bash, bash, bash anymore. Suddenly, he has a choice. He could run, hide behind a tree. He could grapple a nearby orc and try to use the orc as a shield. He could go full defensive and try to bat the arrow out of the air with his sword. He could charge the orc, hoping to get into melee while the boss still has his bow out. He could try to take that magic ring from that halfling that has no points in combat anyway and use it to turn invisible so he doesn't die. The point is, if you telegraph important attacks, you can give your players the information they need to make interesting choices.